The Canadian Radio-Télévision and Telecommunications Commission, CRTC, is working quickly to decide whether to impose a tax on online platforms that offer streaming and podcasting services in Canada, according to its chair Ian Scott. Scott told the Senate committee studying the Online Streaming Act, formerly known as Bill C-11, that the CRTC is very conscious of the need to provide clarity and certainty to the industry and the public on how the new legislation will be implemented. The Online Streaming Act, which became law in April, updated the Broadcasting Act to require online platforms, such as Netflix, Spotify, YouTube and TikTok, to contribute to the domestic media ecosystem and support Canadian content. The Act also gave the CRTC the power to regulate online platforms and impose penalties for non-compliance. However, the Act did not specify how much online platforms will have to pay, what kind of content will qualify as Canadian, or how the CRTC will enforce the rules. Those details will be determined by the CRTC through public consultations and regulatory policies. Scott said the CRTC is aiming to launch the first phase of consultations by the end of the year, which will focus on the registration of online platforms and the collection of data on their revenues and expenditures in Canada. He said the CRTC will also seek input from stakeholders and the public on the appropriate level and form of contributions from online platforms, as well as the criteria and mechanisms for promoting and discovering Canadian content. Scott said the CRTC expects to issue its first set of regulatory policies by the end of 2024, and to have the new regime fully operational by 2025. Scott also clarified that the Online Streaming Act will not result in the policing of user-generated content or the mandating of specific algorithms on platforms. He said the CRTC's objective is to ensure that Canadians are aware of and can find Canadian content, not to direct what they watch or listen to. He added that the CRTC will not regulate content creators, such as podcasters, who host their content on their own websites or subscription platforms, unless they have annual revenues of more than $10 million in Canada. He said the CRTC will also respect the editorial independence and freedom of expression of online platforms and content creator. Scott said the Online Streaming Act is a historic and necessary update to the Broadcasting Act, which was last amended in 1991. He said the Act will ensure that online platforms contribute to the Canadian broadcasting system and the creation of Canadian content, which are essential for the cultural, democratic and economic well-being of the country.